Hello, Brian Tulsa here. What are you doing today? Today I am reading a book. This book, Turmoil in the Toybox by Phillips. Why am I reading this book? Because this book actually had a big influence in my life as a child. And I had not thought about this book for decades, but then I was reminded of it. And when I was reminded of it, I had to hunt down a copy of it and read it again as an adult. What is Turmoil in the Toybox? Well, this minister, Mr. Phillips, argues in this book that essentially all toy and cartoon properties are evil. They are influenced by Satan to lead children away from Christianity. Shocking stuff, and not just the obvious stuff. Many things in here, such as Rainbow Bright and Care Bears and such, that you wouldn't think would lead people to Satan, according to Mr. Phillips, was leading people to Satan. So, yes, I got this book, and my first idea was to do a dramatic reading of the book, because the chapters are quite short. But I thought that might be dinged for copyright infringement, so I won't do that. However, periodically I will review a chapter of the book. I'll do one video for each chapter. I won't do it every day, but occasionally I'll come back to it until we get through the whole book. I will read segments of the book, but not the whole thing, and I will provide my critiques. I am really excited to look at this. Of what I've already read, it's bad. It's pretty atrocious. So now, as an adult, I can say what I really think about it. I'm not influenced by parents or teachers or church. I can apply my own reasoning and critiques to what I'm reading here. And I think we're going to have some fun with it. I think this is going to be a good time. So for this video, I'm going to start with the introduction and chapter 1. First, let's look at the cover of the book, Turmoil in the Toy Box. And we have an image of a toy box here with many popular toy properties, slightly altered, maybe so they can avoid copyright. I'm not sure what that one's supposed to be. Maybe that one represents Dungeons and Dragons, this jester guy, I don't know. But there's sort of Yoda and sort of He-Man. And oh yeah, there's a Care Bear. Did you know Care Bears were from Satan? Cabbage Patch Kids too. Now I would believe Cabbage Patch Kids are satanic. I think those are supposed to be Smurfs there. Rainbow Bright, and yes, of course, that's G.I. Joe and Barbie. And My Little Pony. So, yeah, this book will tell us how each one of these is evil. Even though I won't read the whole book, I'll just read this paragraph here. It says, a shocking expose of the toy and cartoon industry. It reveals the hidden dangers found in He-Man, Masters of the Universe, Barbie, Rainbow Bright, G.I. Joe, Smurfs, Dungeons and Dragons, Care Bears, Thundercats, E.T., Cabbage Patch, to name a few. Well, that's names more than a few. This book unmasks the New Age, occult, violent, and satanic influences that have invaded the once innocent toy box. Turmoil in the Toy Box is also explains the importance of play and how toys can enhance our or stunt a child's development. In addition, this book provides the reader with an alternative to today's popular toys. I hope he's not talking about those Christian toys that they're always trying to pawn off on us. Those were terrible. And here is the man himself who could not trust that face. I mean, that is such a trustworthy face. You know that guy knows what he's talking about. The introduction isn't even a full page. It's 3 paragraphs, and it basically says nothing. But it does tell us what to look forward to, it says that he can't cover every toy or cartoon series. However, let me assure you that Turmoil in the Toy Box is the most thoroughly researched and balanced expose available today. That is a tall promise. I will expect this book to live up to that promise. I expect thorough research. Chapter 1 also says very little, and for such a highly researched book, this first chapter has zero information about the subject. It says absolutely nothing about the toys and cartoons that are supposedly leading everyone to Satan. What it does is it tells a story of when the kid fell into, I guess, a sewage retention pond, which is super gross. But he likens that, being covered in sewage to being spiritually covered in spiritual sewage because you, I don't know, you watch cartoons, I guess. By watching sexually oriented, occult, and violent cartoons. They're just as bad for children as sexually oriented, occult, and violent television and movies are for adults. So this chapter, and look, that's it. That's the whole chapter right there. Says basically nothing about toys and cartoons other than it's just they're bad. It just says they're bad. That's all it says. So that concludes the review of the introduction and chapter 1. So far, this thing is worthless. It does get better, though. In chapter 2, we will encounter our first toy. In chapter 2, he actually purchases a toy, which inspires him to fight against all toys. Can you guess which toy he purchased that convinced him that these toys were all from the devil? Leave a comment and guess which toy he purchased that convinced him that Satan was behind all these toys and cartoons. Please leave a comment, give it your best guess. But that's it for today. Turmoil in the Toy Box, we will come back to it, and future chapters will have a little more substance. A little more, not a lot more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.